Hi, today's topic is background checks and getting a job. First of all, a background check could be anything from a criminal check, a credit check, a check of your driving record, education verification, a medical exam, which may include a drug test. What we have seen is there's been an increase in the number of employers asking for those kinds of background checks prior to hiring an employee. There are several reasons for that. Number one, it's a totally different world that we live in the last 10 years. That's one. Secondly, if you are being hired as an officer of a company, you are personally responsible for your actions. So companies want to make sure that they get the best kind of individuals to be hired in those kinds of positions. Secondly, you're being entrusted with the assets of the company, such as a company car, and they want to make sure that you have a clean record. You're also, in certain jobs, you're mandated by law to do a criminal check on someone, such as if you work with children. So there are more and more instances of that happening. So what we have seen is between 20 and 30% of employers are asking for those kinds of background checks. So as an employee, a potential employee, you do have rights. The first thing is you have to consent to this in writing. So my suggestion to you is if you're looking for a job, find out upfront what they're going to be looking for in terms of background checks. If you have a blemish in the past, try and deal with it. Example, if it is a credit issue, try and deal with that credit issue before you even start looking for a job. If it is a criminal record, can you be pardoned for that? Make sure you take the time necessary because a pardon takes months. Also, find out before you do that check what the employer is going to find out about you. Do a check on yourself. Clean up your online persona, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, those kinds of things, especially the non-professional online sites. Because you don't want, because that's public domain. An employer can go in and look at that without your consent. So clean that up before you start the job hunt. And be honest. If there is something in your past, let the potential employer know. But you also have to realize if you do have something in your past, there may be some jobs for which you cannot be hired. So you have to identify those jobs and move on to others. I hope I've helped you with some of the tips. I'm Dawn Williams from Sirius Personnel. I can be reached on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Happy selling.